Hey guys, welcome to another video of mine. So today's video is going to be a beginner's makeup tutorial. Okay, so I don't think there's anything else I could say, so let's just jump right into the video. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is first clip the hair back so I could see my face a little bit better. So I like to start off my face by either moisturizing it or priming it because I kind of have very dry skin. Sometimes I have oily skin. It depends on how much I moisturize it, which is weird. But so I'm gonna be using the e.l.f. Aqua Primer Mist. The spray on this is actually very bad, but I like the product overall, so we're just gonna use it. Then I like to just press it into my skin using a sponge because since it's not a very fine mist, so that kind of helps. Okay. Using a primer helps make your makeup last longer, as we know. You could either use a spray primer or if you have an actual tube primer thing. Okay, so the primer that was draped for a very long time was the Nivea Men Aftershave Balm, the sensitive version. Nikki Tutorials once talked about it as a primer and everybody went crazy and started using it as a primer, so I got it to try to use it like that, but I don't really use it that much. You could use that if you want an affordable option, or the Wet n Wild face primer. I have both of them. I have the normal one and I have the luminous one, and I really love the luminous one way more than this. I think this is more mattifying than this because this is the luminous one, and I feel like this caters more towards oily skin. The Aftershave Balm, a luminous primer, a mattifying primer, and a spray primer. I just sprayed the e.l.f. primer on my face, but for the sake of this video, I'm gonna use this. Right, let's take a little bit on my hand, just rub it in. And this does have a male scent to it, but I actually like this scent a lot. But it doesn't stay on your skin for long. It kind of just disappears after a while, but you'll find it very strong in the beginning. This is normal. And another thing that I actually love to use as a primer or a setting spray is I mix a little bit of glycerin with water and I put in this spray bottle that I had, like a mini max spray bottle. And I love to use this either as a primer or a setting spray. If you have large pores, then I would suggest you use the Maybelline Baby Skin to kind of erase some pores, or there's the Milk Blur Stick. I have the mini version, or there's different products, but I use these two. So today I'm just gonna go with the Maybelline Baby Skin, apply it on the areas where I need filling the most. So now I'm just gonna start off with my eyebrows because they're looking a little bit crazy right now. So there's a few products that you could use for your eyebrows, either an eyebrow pencil. I have these two, the H&M one and the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, and I really do love this a lot. It has a very fine tip that you could use as a, I have very dark brows. I like sometimes to go in with black shadow to kind of fill them in. So that's another tip, is to use an eyeshadow. I'll show you the one that I use. I have this LA Colors matte shadow, and I just go in with the black shade and I fill it in my eyebrows. So that's also another good tip, is to find an eyeshadow. If you would like to fill them in with powder, then find an eyeshadow that is similar to your actual hair color and use that and fill in your eyebrows with. I'm gonna do one side using one of the pencils and the other side using the powder. So I start off by this side using the powder. So the first thing I like to do is just brush my brows with the spoolie to kind of make sure that they're in place. And then I take a small angled brush, that's very small, and I like to fill in my brows. I'm sorry if you can see the mirror, it kind of just helps me see. So the way to fill in your eyebrows is, first, it's best if you draw a line on the lower part of your brows and then blend them with that spoolie. And blend it into your brows with the spoolie. So that kind of gives you like the base of the shape of how it's gonna go. It's very hard to explain brows, honestly, because they're not the easiest to do in life, because sometimes you can get them to look exactly the same and sometimes they look nothing alike, but that's just how it is. A dupe for the Anastasia Brow Wiz is going to be the NYX Brow Definer. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it looks exactly like this one, but it's from NYX. So what I like about this Anastasia Brow thing is that I like how convenient it is and how fine the tip is, so it helps you draw on your brows easily. It gives the illusion that you have brow hair, which is always a good thing. The way to use this is by, I also outline the lower part of my brows like that, as you can see. Just to give the base, and then I blend upwards. So if we had a harsh line there, it would just blend in our brows. And I go on the top and also do the same thing. And then blend it sideways to the side. And then for the tail of the brows, I don't know if you could tell, but I kind of have like a little sparse area right here, which I usually just fill in because I do have the shape of the brow, but sometimes I just pluck way too much, so that kind of happens. So I just fill it in like that, and you can see like there's this sparse area right there, so I'm just gonna fill it in. Now that we've primed our face and did our eyebrows, moving on to foundation. So the best tip to find the perfect shade for your foundation is to match it with your neck. So the thing that most people do while color matching themselves is they get a foundation shade, they test the color, they take a little bit and they just try like that, and if it blends and if you blend it a little bit and it just disappears into your skin, that means it's your perfect shade. I'll show you another example of a foundation shade that doesn't match me at all. So I have this like e.l.f. foundation that is extremely light, but I'll just show you. I take a little bit on, it's way too much, but I take a little bit and then I apply it like that. As you could tell, you could easily tell that it's not my shade, but if I blend it a little bit, you can still see it. That definitely means that it's not your perfect shade. But the Wet n Wild one actually blended perfectly and you can't see it, which means that it is your perfect shade. Okay, now I'm gonna apply the foundation. So the foundation I'm gonna be using, which is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation in the shade Golden Beige. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be using this side with the brush and this side with the sponge. So the reason why I use the sponge is if you want a little bit of a more airbrushed look and a little bit more lesser coverage than with a brush. And personally, I always prefer using a sponge because I love the finish that it gives. And usually when you use a brush, it actually gives a much more fuller coverage. But I don't know if you'll be able to tell on camera, but yeah, I hope you could. When I'm blending with a brush, I just like to blend in like circular motions to kind of give it that airbrush look. And kind of also eliminate, leaving brush strokes on your face. It's always preferred to either use a stippling brush while blending in your foundation or a dense brush, so it would not leave brush strokes all over your face. And I don't know if you could tell, but this side kind of looks a little bit more full coverage than this, even though it's the same exact foundation. That's because we used the sponge. Okay, moving on to cream contour. There's 3 cream contour products that I use all the time, And I know that cream contouring can be very, very scary sometimes, especially if you use it, especially if you go overboard, it can kind of look crazy and muddy. But the products that I like to use is the first one, which is the LA Colors Pro Concealer and the shade Toast. The second one, which is the Wet n Wild Calming Maple Contour Stick. There's a fly in the room. And the third one, which is the Sephora Bright Future Gel Serum. So on this side, I'm going to be using the Sephora one, and on this side, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild one to kind of show you the difference in both of them. Since this one is liquid, this one is cream. So first, going on with the contour stick. I find contour sticks easier to control because you can't apply too, you can apply too much, but I find that they're... Sorry guys, the camera kind of shut off. I was trying to tell you that I find it easier to kind of control cream products. I know sometimes it can be very intimidating, but it's okay, don't worry, just take it one step at a time and don't apply too much at a time also. And sorry one more time, you're going back to me having my face all done and I started on my eyeshadow, so yeah, please enjoy the video. Thanks. I just had to go eat because it was iftar time, and now I'm back to finish off my face. And I remembered when I was eating that I totally forgot to put on setting spray, so I'll be putting on setting spray right now so it can kind of mix all the powders and make them blend into my skin better. For that, I'm going to be spraying the mixture that I did, which is glycerin and water, which is the mixture I told you about. Let's continue with the eyes. So we already applied our transition shade, which was the shade Burnt Orange. Now I'm going to be taking this shade, which is Raw Sienna, and also blend it in my crease. Transition shades in my eye. Transition shades are the ones that ensure that you have a fully blended eyeshadow look, that it's fully blended to like an ombre effect and transitions into your actual eyelid or transitions into your brow bone. So that's why we always love to use transition shades for that matter. Exactly. Now I'm gonna go in with Cypress Umber, which is the brown shade in the palette. I'm gonna be taking it on a smaller tapered brush, and this is an H&M double-ended brush. There's like a flat side and then this blender side. I'm gonna apply it on the outer part of my eyes. To kind of smoke it out a bit. I just go in with the other brush and just go in circular motion to concentrate the color and diffuse it in its place. Then once I'm done diffusing it in its place, I just go with swiper motions. So that is how you do like a smoked out blended eyeshadow look. Now for the eyelids themselves, I'm going to apply a shimmer shade, and I'm going to be taking Primavera from the palette, which is this golden shimmery shade. And when you're going to apply shimmery shades, you have two ways. Either you go in with your brush normally into the pan and just apply it on your eyelids, or you can also spray your brush or wet your brush with water or setting spray to kind of ensure that you get the full opacity of the pigment itself. As you can see, it's like blending because I have a wet brush. And then you apply it on the inner part of your eyelids all the way to the middle of your eyes. or all the way to the dark area, to the darker shadow. And then you apply it all the way up to your crease. And take your blending brush and just blend out the edges. So you could diffuse it into your eyes. You take your finger and just kind of blend the edges of the shimmery shade and the darker shade together to kind of add a more ombre effect. And if you feel like you took the shimmery shades way too far, like on your outer part of your eyes, just go ahead and take the other shade that you used, the darker shade, one more time and just apply it on top and blend them together. If you feel like the dark shade is not really blending to the transition shades, then go ahead and take your transition shade one more time and just go over that area and just blend them out again. Good thing we did not have any fallout. And if you do have any fallout from your eyeshadow onto your face, you could either use your powder brush and just go against, the particles, like don't swipe down, just swipe up, like that. Or you could get a piece of tape and just press it on your face and it will remove those shadow fallout pieces. And the blush that I'm going to be using with it is actually going to be a nude blush. I was going to actually use this peach blush, but I feel like a nude blush would go better with this. So this is the Tarte blush in the shade Party. Just take the blush that I have. Okay, so I'm gonna put on eyeliner, even though I prefer to go with mascara, but I'll just put on eyeliner to show you my favorite eyeliners and ways to actually apply liner. Okay, so I have a few favorite brushes to apply gel liner with. I have the BH angled brush. This is number 107. The Wet n Wild angled brush. MAC angled brush number 263. And the e.l.f. angled brush. They're all angled brushes. I love applying eyeliner with an angled brush. Then I also sometimes use a liquid eyeliner. And this is the Wet n Wild Mega Liner. And it looks like that. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. It depends. But for my go-to eyeliner, I usually go with gel. My original top favorite, which is the MAC Black Chalk Gel Liner. Also, another favorite of mine is the Sephora Outrageous Intense Waterproof Gel Liner. Also, another recent favorite, which is the Inglot Gel Liner. Also, give a little shout out to another gel liner, which is the e.l.f. one. It's in the shade Black. I used this for a while and I actually really do like it a lot as well. I really like the NYX Epic Ink Liner, the pen eyeliner. But my problem with this is that it's not fully matte and it doesn't really last all day on me, but I kind of do like it and I love that it has a brush tip applicator, not a felt tip. I definitely prefer a brush tip than a felt tip. So the way to do this, I always like to have my eyes open while I apply a liner, and I just draw a line, apply it all the way to the outer part of my eyes. And for the wing part, I usually just imagine a line from the end of my eyes connecting with the tail of my brow. And I just connect it with the rest of my eyes. So I'm going to be taking Raw Sienna. So when you smudge a little bit of eyeshadow on your lower lashes, that kind of evens out your top and your lower lashes together. So we don't feel like there's awkwardness between them. For lips, I have two lip combos that you could go for. Actually, I have a lot of lip combos for this, but I'm gonna go with two options that I would most probably go with. Now I'm gonna go in with a lip liner. Nude lip liner. So I can go in with my lipstick. The lip liner I'm using is the ColourPop Lippy Pencil in the shade Aquarius. I'm going to use the Kat Von D liquid lipstick in the shade Lolita as my nude for this look. I'm gonna get some more darker nude, but and I kind of want to lighten this lipstick a little bit more, so I'm going to go in with Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick in the shade Stripped. You can either go with the nude like that, or go with a bold lip like what I'm going to do actually for this video. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with a bold red lip, and I'm going to be lining my lips using the Sephora Lip Waterproof Lip Liner. Oh yeah, that's in the shade Scarlet. The lipstick I'm going to be using is the Maybelline lipstick in the shade Craven Coral. Okay, so that's definitely a lot, so we're going to spray our face. So the tip to apply makeup is to always be patient and take your time while applying makeup, because if you try to do it in a hurry, you could kind of mess up and it could sometimes be hard to clean up. But don't worry, you could always clean up anything that you mess up. It's fine. We've all been there. We've all done mistakes, and you don't have to worry about it, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. And if you have any suggestions for me in the future, don't forget to comment them down below. And thank you guys so much again. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!